Killer Sofa. Now, let me tell you about why I watched this movie. I have a former French teacher, and we would talk a lot about bad movies. She has a brother who likes watching bad movies for enjoyment, and I did for a while, and then I kind of stopped because they kind of become repetitive. But she recommended I watch Killer Sofa, and I watched the trailer to Killer Sofa, and I thought the trailer was fucking badass. I'm gonna sum up the movie while I play the trailer. So the movie is basically about this sofa. It gets possessed by a demon, and some people adopt the sofa. I don't know if adopt would be the right word, but some people acquire the sofa, and the sofa goes on a rampage. I didn't like this movie. Okay, I know this movie is not trying to be art. There are plenty of movies out there that I've watched that are not trying to be high art, and I actually like. This movie was bleh. I'm sorry, French teacher. I did not like this movie. First of all, there are some scenes. I thought the movie started off really strong. The beginning of this movie, I was watching it with a couple of friends over beers, and we were fucking dying at the beginning of this movie. First of all, the intro, you got this fucking weird guy with hairy shoulders just doing some crazy shit. And then, the Jewish rabbi, there's a Jewish rabbi in this movie, and he touches the couch, and all of a sudden, he starts doing major jizz face, like... There's a scene where the girl first sits on the recliner. That's a problem I have with the movie too. It's called Killer Sofa, but it's technically a recliner. But I digress. The girl sits on the recliner, and there's this they edit it like a sex scene. And there's a sex scene with the recliner. The other scene that made me laugh in this movie, one of the few, but there's a scene where the girl puts a bunch of gasoline on the recliner, and then she goes to light a match and throw it on the recliner, but the recliner constantly blows the light out. I thought that was a pretty cute scene. Other than that, this movie was kind of bad, and it goes to what makes a so bad it's good movie. To me, a movie that's so bad it's good would be a movie like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. To me, that's a perfect so bad it's good movie, because there's a certain charm to it, and I can't really put my finger on it. I thought this movie had a neat premise, just a killer couch. We've all fucking dropped the remote in the recliner, and then you're scared to put your hand in the recliner because you don't want to chop your fingers off and have a bloody mess all over your recliner. I get that, and if they just made it about the killer recliner, this would have been a great movie. A filmmaker that I admire a lot is Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman makes the Trauma movies. He's made classic films like The Toxic Avenger, Terra Firma, Class of Nukem High, and I've even reviewed one of his movies, Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, back when I was doing Zombie-thon in October.
You mentioned cheesy movies, and this is the secret ingredient that Trauma has been 33 years.
Trauma is basically responsible for the cheese in the films.
Indeed.
To me, that's a guy who understands the craft of the so bad it's good movie, which I don't really understand that term. To me, those are just good movies. You have a premise like Poultrygeist, zombie chickens. Okay, let it play out, and it's just zombie chickens and they're rampaging, and the fucking ending is this orgy with fucking chickens and boobs and blood and guts flying everywhere. That's what you've come to see with this movie. Killer Sofa, however, doesn't have much Killer Sofa in it, okay? If this sofa was just going around and chopping people's limbs off using the recliner, or being creative with it, I would have much rathered that kind of movie. instead, this movie tries to take itself way too seriously. And that's the problem I have with the Asylum movies. For those of you who don't know, the Asylum movies are those movies like Giant Octopus versus Yada Yada Yada, or they'll make movies that have similar sounding titles so people can, like, so when people go to Redbox, they fuck up and click on the wrong movie. So I think they made a movie called Atlantic Rim instead of Pacific Rim, and when Abraham Lincoln's Vampire Hunters came out, they made a zombie Abraham Lincoln movie. Anyway, that's a movie where they're just trying to get you to click on the movie, okay? And that's what Killer Sofa is. You're like, what the fuck? This movie is about a killer sofa? How outrageous. And you click on the movie, and you rent the movie, and they're done. Mission accomplished. But they don't care about what the fucking movie is, okay? The movie is just them explaining why is this chair possessed. That's not what I've come to see in a movie about Killer Sofa. Okay, the reason why I clicked on this movie and rented this movie was because it was called Killer Sofa. I wanted to see a sofa kill people. And they try to trick you. That's what Asylum does. Because they're lazy. At the end of the day, they're just lazy. It'll take a lot of effort to do some practical effects and have like limbs getting chopped off and all that good shit. But they're lazy, and at the end of the day, they just want you to rent the movie and get disappointed, and then you watch the next one, and the cycle continues. Those movies, Giant Octopus, whatever, people like show clips of that on YouTube all the time, because the clips they show are outrageous and they are funny, but there's probably 2 of those scenes during the whole film. The rest of the film is dialogue on a shitty set or behind a shitty green screen. I'm not all about that shit, you know? There's an art to the So Bad It's Good movie. There's an art to it. First of all, you need consistency. If you're asking someone to watch a shitty movie for an hour and a half, the movie has to be consistently either shitty or tongue-in-cheek or self-aware, okay? Again, going back to Poultrygeist, which it's a B movie, it's not a So Bad It's Good movie. Lloyd Kaufman knew exactly what he was doing and set out to do it. He fucking just makes it about killing murderous chickens the whole movie, and people getting wiped out in crazy ways. And there's like some slight story, but they're not fucking explaining why the chickens are zombies. It doesn't explain like, oh, there's this demon called Pazuzu, and Pazuzu possessed Bajimbo, and Majimbo possessed Joe Blow, and Joe Blow. It's like, oh my god, is this all what the movie is? When the movie is made out of a labor of love, you can see right through that shit, okay? It's like I used to work in a high school, and I would talk about my friend who's a teacher all the time, and you can tell, just like that, you can tell if a teacher wants to be there and is giving an effort, or if the teacher just doesn't give a fuck, okay? I feel like audience members have the same experience when it comes to movies. You can tell if a filmmaker is trying just by looking at the movie. For the first 15 minutes, you can tell this filmmaker gives a shit. Okay? Lloyd Kaufman gave a shit when he made those awesome movies. Even The Room. The Room is hailed as a movie that's like the king of So Bad It's Good movies. But the guy behind the camera, Tommy Wiseau, he had heart. And he invested that heart in the movie. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's why people like The Room. Even though it's a crappy movie with shitty dialogue and shitty acting and the story doesn't make sense, the guy had heart. Okay? Troll 2. I'm sure the filmmakers behind that all had heart as well. It's a So Bad It's Good movie. The end product didn't come out the way they thought it would. But that's the way it works. They put their heart in it, and no matter how it turned out, it resonated with people. The movies by Asylum, this Killer Sofa movie, all those movies that advertise themselves on the title alone, those are just lazy filmmakers who will make a poster and make some crazy title like Killer Sofa or Giant Anaconda versus Giant Tarantula and try to trick you into watching it thinking it's one of those movies that actually have heart. And that's a movie I don't have respect for. Killer Sofa, I don't have respect for this movie. I think it's a lazy cash grab. Despite a few scenes that made me laugh, the filmmakers are trying to trick you. They're not genuine about this movie. They probably shot this in a weekend and said, you know what, this is enough. People are gonna like click on it anyway because the title is called Killer Sofa. That's my review of the movie. Yikes! My French teacher probably thinks I'm a big dick now, but I won't show her this video. Should I show her this video? I'll see in editing. I hate when people suggest movies to me, and they're like, "Oh, how did you like it?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, it fucking sucked ass." that happens to me all the time. One of my favorite movies is The Master with Joaquin Phoenix, and I showed my friend this movie. I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna fucking love this movie. This is the fucking best movie ever made. It's so fucking awesome." And then like he watched it, and I watched it with him and his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was just like, "Yo, this movie sucks." And a little piece of my heart died on that day. And then my friend John, he was like, "Yeah, that really did suck." And then the other piece of my heart died. And now, so many chunks of my heart are dead. Killer Sofa, don't give it the light of day. If you want a so bad it's good, there's no such thing as a so bad it's good movie. There's good movies and there's bad movies, okay? To me, The Room is a good movie. To me, Poltergeist Night of the Chicken Dead is a good movie. Troll 2 is a good movie. Ricky-O! I just reviewed Ricky-O. Ricky-O is a movie that understands its premise, understands why people want to go see this movie, and they just deliver what you want, okay? It's not rocket science. Give the people what they want. This movie didn't give the people what they wanted. They tried to trick people into watching a shit movie. Yeah.
The soul you were trying to save has already been doomed.